Everybody feels lonely at some point in their life. Loneliness is a situation experienced by an individual when there is a lack of a certain relationship. Over the last few decades, this occasional feeling has become a day-to-day problem for many. We are living in the most connected time in human history. Still, we cannot get away from this feeling of isolation. Many of us experience loneliness at least once in our life. For me, it is a regular feeling, and it's not that I am alone, I just feel emotionally lonely. The truth is that no one is invulnerable to loneliness, because loneliness is what makes us more human. It is a feature of our complex existence. We primarily think that loneliness is only for introverts or people who don't relate as much to others. But many studies have revealed that our social skills have nothing to do with how we experience loneliness. Loneliness can affect everybody. Being good-looking, in shape, or being smart does not prevent someone from feeling lonely. I think the truth is that it is unlikely to find someone that will ever truly understand us, because a lot of our thoughts and ideas are too alarming to be safely revealed to anyone else. In life, we often have to choose between acceptance and honesty. It's almost funny how all we do is center everything in ourselves, yet we think that the worst thing that could happen in life is to end up alone, when in reality we must all die alone, which means that our pain is for us to endure. Others can encourage us, but it will always be deeply unlikely that we find someone that truly gets us, and that their environments and life experiences are the same as ours to truthfully reflect your feelings in their mind. It's rather odd to think that anyone could ever do what we want in any situation. We will most certainly never meet the people that are best qualified to understand us. But they do exist, maybe in someone that we left behind, or someone that we will never meet. It is not a conspiracy. We are born and die by ourselves, so we need to learn to love ourselves enough to be alone. Our happiness can't be in someone else's hands. We shouldn't be afraid of loneliness, because we have to be lonely at some point to get a certain perspective of life. We tend to give up on this perspective because of our biological desire for proximity. Loneliness is a function of the body, like hunger. Hunger makes you pay attention to your physical needs. Loneliness makes you pay attention to your social needs. This is important because many years ago it was an indicator of whether you will survive or not. Natural selection rewarded humans for collaborating and building bridges. And so, in modern days, we end up in empty relationships in which there is not much to say, but that once brought us relief because it was the proof that we were no longer alone. The worst thing in life is ending up with people that makes us feel alone. And yet, despite all this, I am not frightened by the fact that I might not ever fully understand anyone, and that anyone might never fully understand me. This isn't a sign that life has gone wrong. Maybe it's what we should expect from the very beginning, in order to receive the benefits of being alone. Once we accept loneliness positively, we can get creative with the idea that people around us might never fully get us, but someone else can. That's how I learned from loneliness in this quarantine. When I was starting writing this talk, I had a very different idea of what loneliness meant to me. As many of you may relate, during quarantine I felt some serious loneliness. I started feeling sad because I didn't have any outlet to seek of proximity. The only outlet that I found was sharing my thoughts in the form of art and through social media. We tend to think that the internet grows us apart, but I found an outlet to my personal feelings and a community of strangers that can relate to me more than the people that I know in person. In the end, I think that loneliness makes us more capable of true bonds of intimacy. We might be isolated right now, but once we learn to be alone, we find ourselves surprisingly in great company. Loneliness is the price to pay for having an idea of what a true relationship must and could be, and for the possibility of more interesting, intimate relationships.